Hello all. So today we are going to discuss about switching converter type shunt compensators, their principle, their operation, and the control necessities. In this module we have to deal with two type of devices, STATCOM and SSSC. STATCOM is switching converter type shunt compensators, whereas SSSC is switching converter type series compensator. Okay, so before going into the more into STATCOM, let us learn something about switching converter type wire generators and their basics. Okay, static wire generators, actually we have learned it before. Type 1 static wire generators will generate or absorb the controllable reactive power by synchronously switching the capacitor and reactive banks in and out of the network. That is, in this type 1 static wire generators, we are synchronously switching several capacitor banks or reactor banks into the transmission line and out of the transmission line by means of some thyristors or relay switches and all, for the purpose of reactive power compensation of the transmission line. But this type of static wire generators will produce a lot of losses due to the switching in and out of the capacitor banks, and also they are not so efficient, and the reactive power compensation is not flexible, and control is also not possible in such cases. Okay, so in order to overcome the disadvantages of this, by using our new technology, that is by using semiconductor devices, semiconductor switches, controllable reactive power is achieved. That is by the means of switching converters. Okay, so this possibility of generating controllable reactive power directly without the use of AC capacitors or reactors, and by using various switching power converters, was identified in 1976. Okay, so in this method we are using switching power converters such as inverters, cycloconverters, AC to AC converters, DC to AC converters for the purpose of reactive power compensation. Okay, and these converters are operated either as voltage and current sources in this device. So one of the main advantage of using the switching converter type compensators is that these converters doesn't need a energy storage element along with it in order to compensate for the reactive power. That is, even without availability of energy storage elements such as capacitor, they can compensate for the reactive power. Okay, but in such cases they cannot exchange the real power, they cannot compensate for the real power, but they can compensate for the reactive power. Okay, so a single switching converter alone can replace our capacitor, switching in and out of the capacitor. Okay, so this is one of the main advantage of the switching converter type wire compensators. Okay, and their operation is similar to an ideal synchronous machine whose reactive power output is varied by excitation control. That is, an ideal synchronous generator, when we connect a synchronous generator in shunt with the transmission line, and by varying the excitation of that synchronous machine, we can generate or absorb the reactive power from the transmission line, and in that way we can compensate it, okay, by the means of synchronous generator. So this operation is same as that of the switching converter type wire generators. Okay, That is, like the mechanically powered synchronous generator, they can also these switching converter type compensators can also exchange real power with the AC system under one condition, that if they are provided with an energy storage element. Okay, as I have told before, if this switching converter is provided with an energy storage element, they can exchange the real power. At the same time, they can compensate for the reactive power. Okay, and due to the similarities with the rotating synchronous generator, these switching converter type wire generators are termed as static synchronous generator, SSG. Okay. Now, when an SSG, that is when in static synchronous generator, is operated without an energy storage and with appropriate controls to function as a shunt connected reactive compensator, then it is termed as a static synchronous compensator or STATCOM. Okay, that is when we operate this SSG without an energy source, then it is termed as STATCOM. Okay, that is it is just a switching converter when connected to the transmission line, and the switching converter is given several gating pulses for controlling the switches of this converter, and such a device is known as STATCOM. Shunt connector reactive compensator is known as STATCOM. And as I have told, the controllable reactive power can be generated by all types of DC to AC converters and AC to AC switching converters such as cycloconverters. Okay, and as this switching power converter, if you are considering the switching power converter alone, that is STATCOM alone, it has no internal energy storage element available with it. It is only a series of switches and the load. Okay, therefore the instantaneous input power will be equal to the instantaneous output power, and in such case the termination of the input and output must be complementary. That is, if there is no energy storage element available within the switching converter, then the instantaneous output and input power will be same. So for that purpose, the termination of the input and output must be complementary. That is, if you have a voltage source if you have a voltage source at the input, then it should be terminated with an current source. Okay, that is, if the input is terminated by a voltage source, then the output must be terminated by a current source. Okay, like that, one complementarity should be there. Or in case if the input is terminated with a current source, then the output should be having a voltage source, like that. Okay. So actually there are two type of fact controllers. Okay, or two type of converters are there. They are voltage source converters and current source converters. And the most common type of converter that we use is voltage source converter. Okay, and so what will be the disadvantage associated with the current source converter? The current source converters require powered semiconductor with bidirectional voltage blocking capability. Okay, and or the switches that must be employed within the current source converter should be having high voltage blocking capability. Okay, but the presently available high power semiconductor with gate turn-off capabilities like GTOs, IGBTs and all either cannot block a reverse voltage at all time, or they can block the reverse voltage only with some detrimental effect on important parameters, or by compromising on certain important parameters such as conduction, losses, under that case only they can block such high value voltage. So due to the unavailability of such high power and lossless semiconductor switches, current source converters are usually not preferred. Okay, and also one of the other disadvantages, the current source converter requires a voltage source termination at the AC terminal. As I have told before, there should be complementarity there. So this current source converter requires a voltage source termination at the AC terminals. That is, they require a capacitive filter. And this capacitive filter should be of a very high value. For a very high value capacitor, very high value capacitor or DC capacitive filter should be required at the terminals, and due to this disadvantages, current source converters are usually not employed in the reactive power compensation. Okay, but if talking about some advantage of this current source converter, this voltage source termination or employment of a large DC capacitor will provide an automatic protection of power semiconductors against the transmission line voltage transients. That is, if we employ this large high valued DC capacitor as voltage source termination in case of current source converter, it will automatically provide protection for this high power semiconductor switches from the line voltage transients. Okay, so the protection of the switches is automatically done in current source converters. This is the only advantage of using current source converter in the compensators. Okay, so we are using voltage source converters mainly, and when we are using voltage source converters, if they require a current source termination at the AC terminals, that is naturally provided by the leakage inductance of the coupling transformer. Okay, when we use a switching converter and we need to couple it with the transmission line, then only it can transfer the output voltage to the with the transmission line. So for that coupling, we can use either a reactor or we can use a coupling transformer. Okay, so in either cases, if you're using a reactor or if you're using a coupling transformer, the leakage inductance or the reactance associated with that element will act as the current source termination. Okay, that is, we don't need to provide any extra current source in that case. If you're using a voltage source converter and if you're coupling it with a coupling transformer or a reactance with the transmission line, then the leakage inductance of the coupling transformer or the reactance will act as a practical current source termination. Okay, so this is the advantage of the voltage source converter. Dual purpose coupling transformer both couples the voltage as well as provide the current source termination as required by the voltage source converters. Okay, so that is it. And however, current source converters have one major advantage over when comparing to voltage source converter. That is, they are immune to terminal shorts due to the inherent output current limitation provided by the DC current source. This is same as what I have told before. That is, as a high value DC capacitor is keeping there, due to that, it would protect the semiconductor switches from the voltage transits in the line. Okay, so that is about static synchronous generator converters. The converters employed in static synchronous generators. It is all about that. Now, next we can move into the reactive power generation by the synchronous compensators. So as I have told before, these synchronous compensators, that is the static synchronous compensator or STATCOM or our switching converter compensators, is similar to the insertion of a rotating synchronous machine with the transmission line. As you can see here, this is the diagram showing the rotating synchronous machine, and this is the exciter. This is a synchronous generator, and this is exciter from some exciter, outside external exciter, and by varying this excitation we can insert the reactive power into the and from the or absorb reactive power from the transmission line. Okay, so how this system is working, let me explain it. So in this case, for the purely reactive power flow, the induced EMF as the output of this generator will be in phase with the system voltages. Okay, that is the generator output EMFs will be in phase with the system bus voltages. Okay, that is these are the induced EMFs of the synchronous generator EA, EB and EC, and this will be in phase with the system voltages VA, VB and VC. Okay, now by varying this excitation we can vary the current drawn here. Okay, that is the reactive current drawn by the synchronous compensator is determined by the magnitude of the system voltage and that of the internal voltage, excitation voltage, and the total circuit reactance. That is, our equation is I is equal to E minus V by X. I equal to E minus V by X. Okay, and the reactive power exchanged in this case is Q is equal to 1 minus E by V by X into V square. Okay. Now, by controlling the excitation of the machine and hence the amplitude, the excitation voltage E of the generator related to the amplitude V of system voltage, we can control the reactive power flow. Okay, by increasing, that is, if we increase the excitation above the system voltage, that is when E is greater than V, it will result in a leading current, or in this case when E is greater than V, the I will flow from here to here in this direction, or this whole system is seen as a capacitor by the transmission line. Okay, this is the first case. Now in the other case, when the excitation is low or under excited condition, that is when E is less than system voltage, then this produces a lagging current, that is the current will flow in this direction as shown here. So in such case, this whole system is seen as an inductor or reactor by the transmission line. Okay, so when current is flowing from this generator to the transmission line, the reactive power is compensated or reactive power is injected into the transmission line. Whereas when the current is drawn or lagging current is drawn, in such case the reactive power is absorbed by the compensator. Okay, now under both of these cases, that is when overexcited or when underexcited, some amount of real power flows from the AC system to the machine for the purpose of compensating mechanical and electrical losses within the system. Okay, very small amount of real power will flow, and we usually neglect it. Okay, so that is about synchronous generator type compensators. And now, as I have told, our switching converter type compensator work in the similar fashion. Okay, now let us see the system. Here we have replaced the generator and exciter with the switching converter and the energy storage element. Okay, so this is the static synchronous generator. Okay, switching converter type reactive power compensator diagram is this one. So it is similar to the synchronous generator. That is the switching converter or this system or our converter is connected or coupled with the transmission line through a coupling transformer or a tie reactance or both. Okay, now by varying the amplitude of the output voltage, this is V0 is the output voltage of the converter, and by varying this V0, we can vary the reactive power compensation. That is, by varying the magnitude and phase angle of the output voltage produced, the reactive power exchange between the converter and the AC system can be controlled. Okay, in the similar manner to the rotating synchronous machine. Okay. Here also the output voltage V0 produced will be in phase with the system bus voltage as required. Okay, that is, if the output voltage V0 is less than the system bus voltage, then the whole system or board compensator is seen as a reactor and reactive power is absorbed, and when V0 is greater than V, the whole system is seen as a capacitor or reactive power is injected. Okay, and if both of this voltage is same, that is when V0 is same as system bus voltage, then the reactive power exchange is 0. Okay. So that is about the basic principle of operation of the static wave generators. Okay. Now let us move on to STATCOM and their advantages. Okay. So before that, static wave compensator. What is static wave compensators? SVC. SVC is actually this one. Okay, that is by means of some thyristors. We are including the required compensation into the transmission line. We see in the case of TCR or TSR, by controlling these two switches, we are injecting reactive effect into the transmission line. But by controlling these two switches, the reactive power is drawn or absorbed from the line. Similarly, here switching of these two thyristors will cause the reactive power to injected into the system by this capacitor. Okay, so this comes under SPC. Okay, and this is our STATCOM. Under the STATCOM, instead of these two thyristors, we are using semiconductor switches such as MOSFET, IGBT, and all. MOSFET, IGBT, and the gating pulses are given to it for the control purpose. Okay, so both of the static wave generators or static synchronous compensator, SBC and STATCOM, are static wave generators. Both the function of both of them are same. Okay, that is their output is varied so as to maintain or control specific parameters of electric power system. Okay, their purpose is same, but their efficiency and their advantages very different. Okay. In general, a solid state switching converter, that is STATCOM converter, is capable of generating or absorbing independently controllable real and reactive power at its output terminals when it is fed from an energy source or energy storage device. Okay, that is by the STATCOM, it is possible to generate or absorb the reactive power as well as control the real power flow if the STATCOM is provided with the energy storage element or energy storage device at its input terminals like this. Okay. So this is one of the main advantage of this one. But by this SVC elements, we cannot control the value to an extent because how much this reactor or this capacitor is capable of absorbing or producing. It can that much amount of compensation can only be made by means of these devices. But by means of this capacitor, we can produce infinite compensation. Okay, or perfect compensation can be produced. So let us move on to STATCOM. STATCOM is a voltage source converter that from a given input of DC source produces a set of three-phase AC output voltages, and each of these output voltages is in phase and coupled to the corresponding transmission line voltage through a relatively small reactance. Okay. And the DC voltage source at the input terminal is provided by the energy storage capacitor. Okay. So STATCOM is actually a switching converter, but we are employing a DC source, DC energy storage element along with it for the real power exchange. Okay. It is an added advantage. It is an added advantage of the using the STATCOM. Okay. It is a shunt connected converter. STATCOM. Okay. So these are the advantages of the STATCOM. That is the dynamic voltage control in the transmission and distribution system. That is, the voltage regulation is possible by varying, increasing or decreasing the output voltage magnitude. The dynamic voltage control is possible, and power oscillation damping in power transmission system. That is, we are real time. We will be monitoring the transmission aligned power whenever it is varying. So depending upon that, we can control the output voltage, and thereby power oscillation damping can be reduced. And transient stability improvement. Okay, so it is obvious if we reduce the losses, or if we reduce the reactive power shortage, then the transient stability is obviously improved. And voltage flicker control, and in control of not only reactive power but also active power control in the line. And the STATCOM replaces passive banks of circuit element or capacitive banks by the electronic converters. And also this STATCOM offers modular and factory built equipment, thereby reducing the site work and commissioning time. And they uses electronic converters, thereby minimizing the environmental impact. Okay. So all these advantages is actually the purpose of the STATCOM. Okay. Now one of the primary objective of applying a STATCOM in a power system is to increase the power transmission capability with a given transmission network from the generator to the loads. Okay. Since the static compensators cannot generate or absorb the power alone when there is no energy storage element, then in such cases the power transmission of the system is affected by the voltage control. Okay. So for that purpose, we will employ energy storage element along with the static compensators. Now, the reactive output power, whether it is capacitive or inductive, of the compensator is varied to control the voltage at the given terminus of the transmission network, so as to maintain the desired power flow under possible system disturbance and other problems. Okay, there is nothing. In case of STATCOM, we are controlling the switches within the converter in a desirable manner, so as to produce a voltage that will compensate the reactive power, that will compensate the disturbances or by whatever problems we need to solve. All these will be real-time sensed, and depending upon the sensed parameters or depending upon the control techniques or control reference inputs, the gating process will be produced, and based upon that the voltage, output voltage is tuned. Okay, so that's all about the STATCOM. Now, for producing the control for the switches of the STATCOM, some conditions will be there, as I have told before. For producing the control signals to the switches of the STATCOM, some compensation considerations or compensation needs should be there. So there are two type of compensation needs. They are direct voltage support and transient and dynamic stability improvements. Okay, this direct voltage support is doing to maintain sufficient line voltage for facilitating increased power flow under heavy loads and for preventing voltage instability. That is, in order to produce or in order to maintain the line voltage at the desired level, and to reduce the underloading or overloading of the transmission lines, or in other words, in order to prevent the voltage instability, direct voltage support or voltage regulation is required. Okay, so this is the first compensation need. So for that, the system bus or the line voltage is sensed by some sensors into the control section of the STATCOM. And the other requirement is transient and dynamic stability improvement. Okay, this is in order to increase the stability margin and in order to provide power oscillation and in order to reduce the power oscillation damping. Okay, this is transient and dynamic stability improvement. That is, by compensating for all the necessities, we can improve the dynamic and stability improvement. Okay, that is our main aim, is to improve the stability by reducing the power oscillation damping, by increasing the reactive power compensation. We can increase the dynamic and transient stability. So in order to meet this general compensation requirements of the power system, the output of the static wave generator is to be controlled or vary the voltage at the point of connection of the transmission system. Okay, so in next session we will move on to the control of the STATCOM. And how the operation conditions will affect it. Okay.